Take it easy and solve the school lunch problem with SPAM. S-P-A-M.
こんにちは、タイガークローラジオ。You are listening now. Back J.
You are listening to Tiger Claw Radio. Number 1 in vintage computer and video game entertainment. And now your host, Critical Failure.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tiger Claw Radio. I'm your host, Critical Failure. What a week! You know, last week we were playing Chiptunes Equals Win, Volume 8. Or Volume, what? I think it's 8. And I was talking about how Battle of the Bits had gone forever without a release. And the day after I recorded, not even when it came out, but the day after I recorded, the latest Winter Chip album came out. And it's Winter Chip 14. So again, the way they do it, it's free for now, but with Battle of the Bits, the only one that's free is the latest one. So if you want to get it and you don't want to pay anything, you got to go get it now before the next one comes out. So we're going to play a couple tracks off of Winter Chip 14. I've got only one Vancast, so we're going to play that. And we got some other awesome stuff for you right here on Tiger Claw Radio. For now, let's take a listen, see what we got here. Okay, here we go. So this is the 10th track. This I usually like to start early, but there's so much. How big is this? One, drop down at the beginning. There's 50 tracks. It says 51, but the first one's this thing. 50 tracks on this thing, so this is another enormous album. So the 10th track we're going to start with, it's from somebody called Ennyco, E-N-N-Y-C-O, Ennyco, I guess. The name of the track is A Big Mushroom. It's good, man. It's good. It's got some good vibes. Stick with us. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. We are back again. I have such a hard time pronouncing the names of the artists. At least this is like a solid word. There's 6 letters. That's it. There's no numbers. None of the letters are replaced with symbols. It's just Ennyco. Ennyco. Not Ennyco. One smiley face. Hashtag baloney butt. But that's a good track, and it's a short one. I'm looking at the other tracks. That weighed in at 1.54, 1 minute and 54 seconds. And most of these, I guess most of these are short. They hover around, with a few exceptions, they hover around the 3-minute mark. Give or take a little bit. All right, boys and girls. We've got only one Vancast this week. There's only one. So we're going to go check the van out. And when we get back, we're going to hang out in the studio like we never have before. Such a lie. All right, stick with us. We're going to the Vancast. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. Time for the Vancast. 6:22 in the morning. It's a balmy 71 degrees outside right now. Everything is drenched. The air itself feels wet. and I'm off to work. Excuse me. My goodness, I'm getting over quite a cold. Wasn't feeling too good on Saturday. Sunday morning I woke up feeling terrible. Skin felt like it had shards of glass being dragged across it. It was pretty awful. Pretty awful, but I muscled through. And now Tuesday morning, you can hear it in my voice. I'm still a little stuffed up, but I think the worst is over with, and I am off to the office to return to my daily scheduled routine. Played a little bit more Final Fantasy VII over the last weekend, which was cool. See, where we left off with Final Fantasy VII was I was stuck on a mini game. What was it now? The Fort Condor. That's what it was called. So in the Fort Condor mini game, this is probably about 8 hours into Final Fantasy VII. There is it's like a strategy game, right? Where you can deploy enough troops up to a certain amount of money, and then you've got enemies crawling up a hill, and you kind of work it like a real-time strategy game. And the more money that you put into the army before you start the game, the more troops you have access to. Give me a second here. So one of the problems I ran into was it takes a bunch of money to start the mini game. So you got to kind of grind outside and earn a bunch of money from random battles before you can play. And I had kind of left off there. That's one of the moments where grinding really rears its ugly head in Final Fantasy VII. But I got back to it, and I got past that part, and that's about where I left off. No, that's not true. You go from there to the city with the great big giant cannon, which is cool. There's a boss fight there, and then you go up to join like the parade. Cloud dresses up in a Shinra uniform and joins a parade of Shinra soldiers. And that part is like, I don't want to say one of the classic moments, but it's one I remember fondly from playing through it when I was much, much younger. So that was cool. I probably put like 2 hours into it. Just enough to get past where I was and make the story progress a little further. So yeah, it's a good game. Good enough that I'm thinking Final Fantasy IX, excuse me, even being a little bit more expensive than the others, is on my get list for this winter when we have Steam sales again. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to the grocery store. I'll be right back. All right, are we back? I think we are rolling again. Excuse me. I don't want to drag this out too long because I'm clearly not feeling great. I don't want to be coughing and hacking into the microphone for this episode of the Vaincast. Not too much anyway. Here's another thing that's been going on for a little while now. Minecraft is making a huge comeback. Somehow PewDiePie got into it. And that drew a bunch of attention back to Minecraft. People who hadn't played it in a long time are going back and revisiting it. Had a big surge in popularity again. And there it is. So I tried Minecraft again yesterday for the first time in quite a while. I jumped onto the Minecraft scene in, let's see, I can't remember exactly what the version number was, but it was still in alpha. Because I remember when it moved from alpha into beta. Was it in alpha? Yeah. Because I remember thinking it was weird, the terminology they were using. Typically you think of an alpha version of software as like internal only. So the move from alpha to beta is like, okay, it's got the people have played it internally. Now it's being handed over to people to test in a closed testing scenario. Mind you, this was when Minecraft first came out. Minecraft was really the game that popularized the whole early access thing, where you just lie to people and tell people the game's not out when it really is. Minecraft popularized that. So at the time, they were just like sort of making up their own rules in terms of how releases work. But yeah, in those days, I would stay up late into the night, to the wee hours of the morning, playing Minecraft. I remember very clearly going to bed at 3 in the morning after playing Minecraft all night. Those were good nights too. Those were good nights, and this was like an early version of Minecraft, so there was less to do than there is now. Like, I don't think you could make dogs your pets, or the wolves. You know, like now you can feed a wolf a bone, feed him enough bones, and there you go, you got a pet wolf. Couldn't do that in those days. I'm racking my brain trying to remember if there were dogs at all. But I think there were. And it's just that all they could do was, as long as you didn't hit them, they wouldn't aggro and come at you. I don't know. No, the game worked much differently then. Farm animals would just appear. They would just appear based on where the grass was. So I remember building a big castle and not having paved the floor. The floor was all made of just grass. So what happened was, when I would go into the castle, it would be full of farm animals because they would spawn in there because it was grass. So coming back to Minecraft now, I'm coming back to it after 1,000 hours or something. My goodness, I'm glad that I don't have all those hours logged. So I had a lot of fun yesterday playing. I went back to an old survival map from when I used to play with my kids, like late last year. And I kind of started like a new life, building a new house and all that stuff. But I didn't really know what all the rest of the stuff was because I couldn't remember what I had built. So that was pretty cool. I had fun doing that, but I feel like it's waning. Like, after playing it last night, I think I might be done with it again. So, we'll see. Minecraft was a great game. It really was. It's still fun, but I have a hard time playing it just myself in like a closed space these days. It might be different if I had like a web series, you know, with a couple of people watching, and so that there was some back and forth in terms of what was what. But just playing myself with no feedback and no multiplayer, nothing, I don't know. I don't know how much more of that's going to keep me occupied. Might as well play Final Fantasy VII. Alright. MagFest tickets should be coming out soon. Typically they come out halfway through August, which is now. So when I get off of work today, I'm gonna have to go investigate the website again and see what's what. Hopefully they'll at least have like a release date, so I know when they plan on putting them out, and then I can queue up and make moves based on that. As I talked about MagFest with my wife over the last week, and so I'm gonna go this year. For sure. I just there's a lot of uncertainty about MagFest around this time of year, every year, because the prices are all over the place for the tickets, and the getting a room is like based on the lottery, more or less. So what I'm thinking is I need to reach out to NG and see if he's going this year. And I don't know, we'll base it on that. But yeah, it's always a lot of fun. I'm definitely getting a ticket and going. Worst case scenario, I won't get a room down there, and I'll just drive down there during the day, each day. But yeah, you know, it's a good time. We don't even know who, like, at this point, there's no guest list or anything like that. Like, we don't know who's there to see yet. I just know that I want to go. I want to go for the chiptune showcases and the arcade and stuff. Yeah, I'll be there for sure. I guess that's about it for this episode of the Vancast. Right now, the weekend is pretty far off, but I'm looking forward to playing more Final Fantasy VII. That's been fun. That's been probably the most consistently fun game over the past month or so. I played more Resident Evil 4 as well. I'm playing through that a second time. But yeah, FF7 is on my radar for this coming weekend. And with that, boys and girls, I'm going to send you guys back to the studio. Hopefully, I'll be sounding a little better and feeling a little better by that time. See you guys there.
Back in the studio again. This is being recorded on Friday evening. It's currently 8:51 p.m. So that was me at the beginning of the week saying I was looking forward to playing more Final Fantasy VII. Might be a little FF7 in the future. But I got bigger fish to fry right now. Bigger fish such as the Winter Chip compilation, Winter Chip 14 from BattleTheBits.org. By the way, get yourself a free copy. Because, man oh man. Look, this is the one that I threw my hat in the ring. I made my submission. Did the best I could, and I didn't make the cut. Now that it's out and I'm hearing the tracks, whoa, baby. Like, there's a good reason why I didn't make it. So, definitely worth a download. And with that, let's go back and see what else we got here. All right, I got one for you. So this is Pettit, who we've played on the show many times before. I used to get Pettit's tracks directly off of chipmusic.org back when chipmusic.org used to be the hotspot for chiptunes. He's got a couple tracks on here. Frostlight Festival is what we're going to go with. This is Frostlight Festival from the Winter Chip 14. Or whatever number it is. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. So I want to go directly into another real short one that they have here on the on the track list. I've lost it already. This one's only 20-something seconds long, 29 seconds. Help me find it. Is that it there? This is from Triple P. This is The Joy of Being Roasted Alive. All right, stick with us. Mario Paint. Did any of you guys remember trying to make a song in Mario Paint? I tried. And I'm not talking about the Mario Paint composer. You know, you can download... Actually, now that I'm mentioning it, I want to get myself a copy of that. But there's a freeware program, Mario Paint Composer, where they took the Mario Paint, ability to make tracks, and they made it its own standalone program. They even lifted some of the limitations. You can fit more notes on a single bar. You can do more stuff with it, and you can export into a WAV file. You can have fun with it. So that's the thing that they do on Chip Music, or Battle of the Bits, excuse me. They accept tracks from Mario Paint Composer as entries. So I assume this guy, that was his joke track. What was this one called? I've already forgotten now. The Joy of Being Roasted Alive. That's it. So he wanted to have some fun with Mario Paint Composer. I have had an interest lately in taking my just some of my local games and adding them to Steam as non-Steam games. I kind of want to get a copy of Mario Paint Composer and have it appear in my Steam library alongside Sunvox and Famitracker and stuff like that. All those free ways to mess around with sound, I think is would be a good thing to do. All right, so let's talk about a couple of things that I've seen on Steam lately. I'm going to start by talking about a couple of deals. The deals! Well, before Steam, how about GOG, right? GOG is a platform that gets a lot of love from a lot of other people, and I don't give it its due nearly as much as I should. I even have an awesome GOG library. I got some amazing games, and I just don't come in here and play them because I'm more of a Steam guy. Number one, Pulsar, which I bought at the last major GOG sale. Now, this is like a Neo Geo top-tier shmup with gorgeous, like 1980s anime art. I want to play this game, and I don't know why I don't, to be perfectly honest with you. I want to play some Pulsar. So let's head over to the Steam. Jeez, there it is again. The GOG store. Just take a quick look at what's on sale. Because Diablo is on sale. The original Diablo. They only take $1 off. It's $8.99. But there it is with the Hellfire expansion pack. Now, I had Diablo in the big box circa 2006, 2007. So I still have it on CD hanging around in my CD pile. But I never did play the Hellfire expansion pack. I've heard people talk about it. I've heard people mention it. Never played it. Sean has even told me. Sean, you guys know Sean Dorabka from The Gaming Beast. He's encouraged me to pick it up, and I just haven't done it. Bard's Tale 2, $6.79. Bard's Tale 2 Enhanced. That might be fun. This is what really kills me is the Neverwinter Nights series is on sale right now. The Neverwinter Nights in Enhanced Edition. I bought Neverwinter Nights in Enhanced Edition for $20 when it came out. For me, there aren't too many day one purchases. That was a day one purchase. And the reason I did it that way is because I knew that there were people who were going to be playing it multiplayer as soon as it came out. And then after it had been out a little while, the multiplayer would die. And that's Neverwinter Nights. So I paid $20 for it. It's $17.69 here on GOG, but it is $5 on Steam right now. $5. That's it. And that I want all my bros to pick up Neverwinter Nights Enhanced on Steam if you don't have it, so we can play it together. All right. I think the only other GOG thing worth mentioning is whenever they put Diablo on sale, they put the Warcraft bundle on sale. Warcraft 1 and 2. 10% off, just like Diablo was, dropping it to $13.49. Now, I haven't been spending too much money on video games lately because I've been more saving for my synthesizer. I'm building a Eurorack synthesizer, which is a very expensive endeavor. but I'm still monitoring the sales. When things that when something bananas happens, I want to be able to jump on it. What else we got? Over on Steam, we've got Gauntlet Slayer Edition for $5. Gauntlet's one of these games where I picked it up on one of the major sales and I never really dug into it. I kind of want to do it with somebody. So, excuse me. When a game like that goes on sale for that much, that's the time to start pulling my friends' arms, saying, "Hey man, hey man, hey man, hey man, go get yourself a copy." Man, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is stinking $250 on GOG. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 was one of the first GOG games I ever bought. It wasn't the first, but it was one. It was one of the first. I bought it when I was in college. I would go to Panera with my buddy, you guys know as Systems Overload. We would go to Panera and we would set up with my laptop and we would play a local multiplayer game of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 in Panera. Get a little coffee, get a little free refills, hang out and play Might and Magic 3. Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It was a good time. I miss doing that, actually, very much. So if you want to partake in such an endeavor, you can do so for $250, or not, or don't at all, because I'm not sponsored by these dummies. All right, where are we at? What have I actually been playing? I'm really interested in this Ion Fury game. Ion Fury, we've talked about it here on the show. That's the build engine game, right? They just made a new game with the build engine, but what I didn't realize was that the character, the bombshell character, the girl, she's the same girl that was supposed to be in, like, she was in, like, the Nintendo 64 games with Duke Nukem. She was originally designed to be, like, Duke Nukem's sidekick in the original version of Duke Nukem Forever. I had no idea. That means this game takes place in the same universe with the same characters as the Duke Nukem franchise. They came under fire about some censorship issues recently. It's like there was one sprite in the game that had like an offensive joke, and the sprite wasn't even used or something. I can't remember exactly where the details were, but a lot of people were upset. And if you go to the Steam website for the game, the reviews are set to mixed. It looks like everybody who's played the game loves it, but people are upset over the whole censorship issues. So I don't know, man. You know, for me, it's really the game is what matters. And when it comes to that sort of thing, get it on GOG. If you want to get Ion Fury, that's a GOG game. Get it where they can't force an update. You can get your save file, you can get your setup file, you can put it on an external hard drive, sock it away somewhere where they can't change it. You know? So that is a game that makes getting games on GOG sound more attractive. It is. This is a good week for sales over on GOG. Knights of the Old Republic is $350. I gotta give that a try again. I haven't played Knights of the Old Republic in a long time, and I never did finish it. All right. Now wait a second. Why is Warcraft 2 $9 and not $15? Oh, because the first one isn't included. So you can buy Warcraft 2 by itself now. I didn't know that. Did not know that. All right, where are we at? Where are we at now? Give me a second here. All right, we're going to return to the chip. Winter Chip 14. This is a simple track. It's from Cleater. Cleater. It's, the track's called Separated. It's very, very kind of simple. Not very fleshed out, I would say. No, that's not fair. Because that makes it sound like something's within. It's just not busy. It's not a busy track. Chiptunes Equals Win has a lot of really busy tracks. And I think more of the Winter Chip or the Battle of the Bits tracks tend to be more stripped down. And that's one of the things I like about him. It has a very the whole community here has a very distinct feel from the Chiptunes Equals Win community, and you're going to hear that right here in this next track. Weighing in at 2 minutes and 30 seconds exactly, this is Separated from Cleater. we took a break while we were rocking out to Cleater, and my son and I watched Video Game Donkey. This Mario Maker 2 video, the latest one, where he was talking some smack against the Game Grumps. I don't know, not too much to say about that. It's really funny. This guy still makes me laugh. But yeah, it seems like the whole Mario Maker 2 phase, that kind of dropped off. There was a period where everybody was making one of those videos on YouTube, all of the major YouTubers, and then it sort of all dropped out. And now my son and I watch specialized channels when we want to see our Mario Maker 2. So it's cool to see Donkey do another one, because he's pretty funny. All right, so let's take a quick second. Before we move on to the fail bag, we're 34 minutes in. We're past due. Time to tip my hat. Time to raise my cup to the sponsors. You hear that? That's gratitude. So these guys give their resources to make sure we can come back every single week. So to them, all I can offer is early access to the show. They get it before anybody else. And right now, this is being recorded Friday night. It is currently 9:19. And as soon as this is done, they're going to get a copy. I also read their names off in a hall of distinguished gentlemen. They are Hemrock, James, Sendu, Tecmo Balls, Durabka, and Konstantin Kelman. Thank you guys so much. Let's party. And with that, we're going over to the fail bag. Not much of a fail bag this week. Let's see. You guys watch those movies we talked about last week? Talked about movies a little bit. We talked about I hit that Grindhouse phase where I was into the Grindhouse movies. I watched Death Proof, and I watched Hobo with a Shotgun, and I watched Planet Terror. I watched all three of those movies inside of a span of like a couple of days. Anybody out there go watch those movies? I didn't know that the girl on the hood of Death Proof, you know, the girl who's like riding the hood at the end, I can't think of her name, was the stunt double in Kill Bill. So there's screenshots of her dressed up as Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, which I thought was pretty awesome. I don't know. Death Proof was a weird movie. I didn't like it when I was watching it, but now that it's been a few days, I kind of want to go back and watch it again. But like just the ending part. Give me a second here. All right, real quick, my son wants me to give a shout out to Grand Pooh Bear, that's who we've been watching for Mario Maker 2 levels. Because yes, we need to give shout outs to people with 500,000 subscribers who aren't even YouTubers, by the way. This is a Twitch streamer who does his Twitch stream, and then he hires an editor to take 4 or 5 hours of streaming and whittle it down to a YouTube video. But we enjoy it. It's a funny thing. And I just dropped your real name. Goodness, I gotta go fix that. I can't remember what I was talking about. It's gone. What was I talking about? We were talking about Grand Pooh Bear. Yeah, right. I remember now. Twitch, not a thing for us. We watch. I like it that if we're gonna watch a Twitch streamer, we're watching his YouTube feed. We're not watching him on Twitch. I tried introducing my son to Twitch. It didn't take. He was not even a tiny bit interested. And I get that, you know. It's not that I have a problem watching Twitch. It's just that, look, I need to be able to pause. I need to be able to rewind. If I'm going to watch a streamer, I better be one of like 3 people in the room so that I can talk directly to this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch a stream of one of my friends. I'll watch a stream of like a really small YouTube channel that I'm into. That's probably it. That's it, man. There was a guy named Gaming Palooza Empire who's still around. He does good Atari content, and he makes these weird videos that are like games for cats. And the idea is it's like a bouncing ball that bounces around the screen, and it's like a 20-minute video. And I'm watching this like, what the heck is this? I don't understand. Oh, it's actually for a cat. You put a cat in front of the computer, and then the cat chases the ball. Very weird. But what's even weirder is those videos, they do very well. So, Gaming Palooza Empire, he does games for cats, and he also does some pretty cool Atari 2600 content. That guy, I caught every one of his streams that I could. Unfortunately, he doesn't do it anymore, but his Memory Lane series was a favorite of mine. Oh yeah, Grand Pooh Bear. That's who we were talking about. So you can check him out if you want, or not. I'm not a cop. All right. Let's see. Not too many comments this week, but we're gonna do the fail bag. Hey, it's a small show. Look, it's just me. It's just you. Just like I was talking about streams. A stream seems pointless if you're gonna be a person in the audience, one of like 1,000 people, and you leave a comment and the streamer just ignores it because there's too many people watching for him to really care. Why are you watching a stream at that point? There's no point. Might as well be watching like pro sports on TV. But that's not the case here. It's just me and it's just you. So if you leave a comment, you can take it to the bank that I'm going to read it. I mean, there's probably about a 70% chance that I'll read it because I miss these from time to time. But that's not the case this time. We got a couple from Mecha Menace. And geez Louise, that's probably it. So Mecha Menace is saving the day on this one. 2 thumbs up for Jackie Brown, he says. Jackie Brown I watched last week. Great movie, which I had never seen. Yeah, man, I really dug that to the point where I might watch that again in the near future. He also writes, unfortunately, I would have to plow through hours of music to find it, but recording artists have sued over less inspiration than Gentoo appropriated without reference or praise in The Tale of Kingsville Harbor. Maybe it was a tune the composer mistakenly remembered in a eureka moment, but even the chorus was roto-played. As a follow-up to my discussion of The Boys TV show last week, I wanted to touch on the 3rd season of Jessica Jones. I just started watching it, and holy crap, the writing is so much better. There are contemporary social issues that they hit, but they naturally present themselves. Understandably, these shows cover a non-realistic universe. However, Jessica Jones feels more relatable. The show doesn't flinch about giving women and minorities strengths and weaknesses in a time where the only positive depictions of these groups in the media is presented. This is how real life is. More believable because they formed characters. It's much better superhero show. I think you'd enjoy the 3rd season without seeing the prior 2 seasons. You know what? Hey, I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a shot. I'm in a point right now where I'm wide open about movies and TV. So if there's something, this is a prime time to get recommendations. Recommendations for TV shows are touchy because it's like, you guys remember when everybody was going crazy over The Walking Dead? It's like, don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro. By the 4th season, by the 4th season, all you have to do is watch 45 hours of television before it gets interesting, bro. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good show to me. So I don't want to. Normally, when people recommend TV shows, there's too much. You're talking about hundreds of hours of programming. But now, right now, maybe it's just because I don't have a series that I'm watching. I guess I'm open to it, so I'll check it out. Jessica Jones. I did watch a series though recently. I watched the first episode of Robotech from the 80s. And I talked about this a little bit with Alex Swingle, so Alex, bear with me if I'm repeating myself. But Robotech felt like, when I was a child, it would have been like a rare and exotic TV show. We had cable in my house for 1 year. It's a story I've told many times. So all of my memories of having cable as a kid, they either took place inside of 1995 or they were at my friend's house. Well, in 1995, even then, when we had cable, anime was a rare thing. We would get up early to watch anime on the Sci-Fi Channel because they would play a movie every Saturday morning. So during that time, if I went to, I remember going to a friend's house and watching the uncensored version of Vampire Hunter D, and whoa, baby. If you've never seen the uncensored version of Vampire Hunter D, another one, Mecha Menace, I know you and I specifically have gone back and forth about this, but watching Robotech kind of took me back to those days. Only watched the first episode, but I was like, man, if I got the chance to see this when I was young, and like the cartoons still had their magic, right? You would buy into a story and you could like believe in your heart that it was like real a little bit. You guys remember like getting into a show that much? Robotech would have been it for me. Another thing I enjoyed about Robotech is I could see a lot of references that future funk artists make to it. Like there's a future funk artist that goes by Macross 82 or something like that, and that's the name of the futuristic city. So yeah, I guess Robotech is the series I'm watching right now. But anyway, that's about 1 million miles away from everything you talked about in your comment. So, watch Jessica Jones. That's what we've got. And there's one more from Mecha Menace from a week ago. And forgive me if I read this last week, because there's no way for me to tell just by looking at this. He says, I've been saving my stubs consistently since 1995, my 1995 viewing of Batman Forever. This is another tradition that will slowly erode as theaters modernize. Flash the phone and your ticketless group of 5 walk past the clerk. Yeah, you know, it's like that now, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Depending on where I go, I still get paper ticket stubs. I don't get the cardstock ticket stubs anymore, which bothers me. I never built up a collection of the cardstock ticket stubs, but I went to movies rarely enough that I would always hold on to them for a long time. Some of the ones I had the longest was I still have one for the Chronicles of Narnia somewhere. I like that one because I went to that with my wife, and we went together before either of our kids were born, and that was a great movie. Narnia is awesome. I'm sorry, I love it. The Narnia movies are awesome. I love the books, and part of me still wants to watch the age-old, really weird PBS series with the dude who wears a badger suit in it. I held on to that stub for a while. What else did I have? Hold on a second. I remember now. It was another one I had for a long time was Lord of the Rings. I saw Lord of the Rings 2 and 3 in the theater, which was weird because I saw that movie the parts of that movie out of order, which I don't recommend doing. But Lord of the Rings 3 in particular, I held on to that stub for a long time because if you can believe it, when Lord of the Rings 3 came out, I was still buying movies on VHS. So Lord of the Rings, all of those movies had VHS releases. They were some of the last movies that had them, especially Lord of the Rings 3. Lord of the Rings 3 was a 2-tape movie. You guys might remember back in the 80s, there was a number of movies, if they got long enough, they would just put it on 2 tapes and just leave it up to the user to switch in the middle of the movie. Lord of the Rings 3 was the last movie I ever saw to do that. I kind of wish I still had that on cassette, to be honest, or on tape, rather. But anyway, yeah, I wish I still had my ticket stubs. I know my older brother still has his. He had a mirror in his room, like a vanity mirror, and he would go to the movies, and he would get his stub and bring it home, and he would put it in the molding of the mirror, like the wooden frame that went around it. You could slide paper in it, and it would stay. And he had the Mighty Ducks, and these really old stubs. I remember he kept the Star Wars stubs, the ones from the prequels, because when the prequels were coming out, we thought they were going to be awesome, and we thought they were going to be movie history that was looked back upon really fondly. We didn't know they were going to be steaming hot turds in time that still have fart vapors to this day, 20 some odd years later. But that's what they were, and he still has the ticket stubs, because why not? All right, where are we at right now? I think that might be all of the comments. So my hat's off to Mecha Menace for saving the comment section this week. I don't know what happened. For some reason, I thought last week was going to be a widely listened to episode. I was really proud of last week, but that just didn't seem to be the case. I'm loading up the stats right now. I want to see how it did. 18 at the end of the first week. For me, that's actually not bad. Actually not bad. You know what? I take it all back. Hugs and kisses. Love y'all. Alright, boys and girls, you know what that sound means. It means I want to play Maniac Mansion again. That's what it means. Whatever's brought you here, 46 minutes and 40 seconds. Thanks for spending time with us, hanging out, talking about some video games, listening to some chiptunes. Time, as they say, is the greatest currency, so I appreciate what you spend here. And as we go out into the week, and we take on school, and we take on work, and all the things we got to do, especially on those hard days, keep at it. Don't give up. Don't stop getting out of bed. Don't stop getting to work on time. Whatever it is you got to do, smash right through it. Like the Kool-Aid Man! Oh, yeah! Because that's the only way you're going to come out on the other side. And whatever happens, even if it doesn't work out the way you thought it would, I can't promise you it's going to go well. I really can't. Because that's a reality of life. You can do everything you're supposed to do right, and things can still turn out bad sometimes. But I tell you one thing, I'm wishing you the best. I'll see you next Monday.